exchange resembles a two-headed dog. A dotted duality, like harmony and chaos, is possibly rather a middle world which is separated and being united together. In quantum physics, there is wave-particle duality.
Hey everybody. Hope you're all doing all right. Looks like Camel P was first in the chat. Hello. And Luminous Cloud. Tough time for you, Luminous Cloud. All the best to you and your family. I'm glad that being a part of this kind of nerdy techno and electro little community we have here is something that can provide strength for you right now. What's up, Jean-Paul? Nice to have you. Functor, Ghostface, Marco Freudenberg, Aaron Hedges, Fobode, yo, what's up? Mikey Mayhem. Are you causing mayhem, Mikey? We got Givor. Best start. You like the track? Thanks very much. It's an old one. Alright. Ghostface. Stereo Decor. What's up, Riki Kekarovsky? Nice to have everybody here. Let's hang out and make some electro today. As we listen to this moody track of mine. All right. Enough procrastinating. Let's bring it in. Welcome everybody. Selway's Techno and Electro Saturdays. Electro today, here at 343 Labs, Music Production School in New York, and online and in Berlin. Some of you are all in Germany and Berlin, right? I know Aaron is over there, and Marco, were you in Berlin? No, I don't remember. Anyway, it's an international crowd. We got Spain in the house. We got people from the United States. We got people from all over the place. So anyway, it's been good around here at 343 Labs, real busy with our one-year program as usual. The new round of students that started in January, they're getting into it. They're in their, I don't know, they're getting into, they're going to have, they're just going to be finishing up their first quarter. We've got some of our collab students are starting collaborations. We were talking about starting a collab a little bit last week, weren't we? I'm still thinking about when to do that. But that's definitely something that we encourage here. Here at the school is for students, on their journeys to also work with each other and make projects happen. And so that's built into the program. It's something that's part of the one-year program when you come here and want to dig deep and do all of the courses and develop and get moving and kind of get accelerated in your on your journey. If If you want to know more about all of that, of course, you've got the links in the description to go to our websites for our in-person programs in New York and in Berlin, and then also our online courses. You can do the one-year program online too. And yeah, we have all that. We have our live streams. Of course, I do this every Saturday, and then Dane has his chop shop every once a month, I think. Where is this? Where is the chop shop link? What's coming up with chop shop? There's gonna be another one coming up February 28th. Let's take a look. I'm gonna help promote this a little bit. All right, so it's a monthly sample challenge hosted by Great Dane, who's a DJ and a producer and one of our instructors here, and he gets samples or parts from a guest every week, and it's kind of like, it's a remix challenge, right? And a feedback session. And if you're here in New York, you can come here and it's a little bit of a party. They'll have some beverages. We've got some DJing happening. It's pretty casual and usually pretty fun. So yeah, if you're in New York, you can stop by. But anyone out there can join in, submit a track. You can find it, if you go to our events page, if you go to the 343labs.com/events, you can find out when this is happening and what's coming up and when all the info, there are links for how to sign up and submit and everything. So that's going on. And I don't know, what else have we got coming up? Oh yeah, Ableton user group. That's something we kind of got off of that for a little while. That's another thing locally in New York that you can hang out and do with us is, we have a little bit of support from Ableton, and sometimes we bring in guests, but generally it's just a good opportunity for everybody to come and hang out and discuss things about Ableton and make live and making music and how they use live devices and their workflows and their ways of doing things. And yeah, it's a good time to come in. It's usually pretty beginner oriented, but I also would encourage people who are more advanced to come in and share. So that we've got those coming up. And then sometimes we have guests for that too. So yeah, keep an eye out, especially those of you local to New York City, on our events. And of course, we have Berlin events too. All of that stuff is here on the website. Cool. What are y'all talking about in the chat? What's happening? Oh, Marco. Marco's going on about the Chop Chop. That's right. We're talking about the Chop Chop. Marco, you should join in. And everybody's saying hello. Nothing crazy yet. What are we going to do today? I think I mentioned last week, yeah, I got the wrong idea. I don't know. I totally spaced out on the fact that the latest Pigments update was a free update, and I was all waiting to get it officially. And I'm like, wait a minute, all I have to do is open the Software Center, and there it is. So yeah, that's what we've got today. I'm just going to start making an electro track and explore the new features of Pigments. Nothing crazy, pretty casual. We're just hanging out. What is up with this mic? It keeps falling. Get in your place, Mike. Stop doing that. Cool. Oh, Mikey Mayhem is asking about how to rewatch the last stream with Christian Smith. Mikey, did you do you mean the paid one that we did? Where the ticketed one? We should have been, because it was recorded and it is available. And everyone who bought a ticket should have been given access to the recording. And if you weren't, that means someone maybe forgot at 343 Labs to put it on the website. So I will look into that. Right. But you would have had to have bought a ticket to, and I don't know if maybe you can still buy it to watch later. I'm not sure. I don't handle that side of things. I will look into that for you. I will see what's up with the status of the video for our live stream that we did a little whiles back. And actually, speaking of, Christian and I are going to schedule some more of these. We're going to try to do several throughout the year. So I'll let you all know when that is set up. We're going to try to kind of plan ahead as much as possible, which is tricky because, we both have our schedules, and I have my teaching and he has his gigs on the weekends. So it isn't the easiest thing to do to find a weekend where we're both free to do it. But we're going to try to plan ahead and do some more of those. So I'll let you know. Nice. Who else is here in the chat that I haven't said hello to? Amy Nota from Belgium. Nice. We got Pierre Bittner. Hello, hello. Jaja 9000 is here. Any other new names or anyone? Hey, Michelle. Nice to see you. Or see you in the chat. And yeah, Ruffle FPV. What's up? Welcome. Cool. And Fleet. Good afternoon. All right. I feel like I'm procrastinating or distracted or something. Let's see what happens with pigments. Let's explore. It's going to be kind of a exploratory, experimenting with what the synth does kind of a day. And I mean, I threw in a little bit of a beat just to get started. Just randomly picked some electro sounding kick and snare samples. What do we got here? Zappy electro-y percussion. I've been having fun going through all of these old 90s sample CDs like Ecstatic Gold Mine and all of that. That's where some of these sounds came from this time. These the kick and the snare. I like it. Very robot beat, which is, you know, what we want. And yeah, I just started playing around with this new modal engine in Pigments. It's amazing how much they've put into this plugin. And it all sounds so good, right? It's such a flexible, powerful synthesizer, but it's also not, I don't believe, overly complicated. You know, if you look at something like Phase Plant or like Vital, like actually Vital's not so bad, but you know, like the structure of that is like this one you can't really change the structure, right? There's limits to it, but within those limits, there's so many possibilities. It's really cool. It's not like you're reconstructing the synth and building the synth from scratch every time. Like you've got a structure to follow, and it's great. It's really great for teaching with. Like I use this in the synthesis and sound design course here at 343 Labs because it just does almost everything. It does more than we need, actually, because, you know, the way we're doing the curriculum now, it's predominantly analog subtractive synthesis and wavetable and sampling. And then, you know, we're leaving things like, you know, the harmonic engine is additive, and then the modal synth, the modal engine that I'm playing around with today is, you know, it's like a physical model. You know, it's kind of emulating acoustic sound, and we're putting that into a second level that we're developing. So I've been thinking about that a lot, actually, like the synthesis course here, like how to pace everything so people get it and not squeeze in too much information too quickly. Anyway, that's what's on my mind here as head of academics and a synthesis teacher at 343 Labs. But yeah, let's play around with some of the new stuff. I mean, pretty much focusing on this modal engine and what that can do. And does it electro? I mean, every synth can make electro, right? That's a silly thing. But I actually like using kind of more organic acoustic type of tones and textures for electro because it sounds so different from the typical, you know, classic sawtooth wave, pulse wave kind of stuff that you hear in everything, right? So to me, it sounds fresh and futuristic to make like electro with these different types of synths. And that's why I'm kind of drawn to it. Cool. So yeah, just to get started, I put in a bunch of 16th notes, just like to do something driving and intense. And it sounds like banging on pipes or something, right? It's just like clank. What is this thing doing? Turn it up a little bit. Let's do this. I'm going to just completely start over. That's what it sounds like. At first, it's almost a little bit sawtooth wave like. Looks cool. Got some stereo spread. And it sounds to me like, yeah, it sounds like modal synthesis. It sounds like a little bit like additive synthesis too, because we're like putting together individual frequencies and then playing around with them in different combinations. So, it kind of looks and sounds a little bit like the additive. The harmonic a little bit. And also, if you've played with physical modeling synths, it's pretty straightforward. You've got something that is triggering, that's kind of causing a reaction in that modal filter bank. And so you've got a percussive one, and then you've got friction and noise and granular. This is all great. I already like it. If I can make this sound a little punchier. Transient, that's what we want. So we're just running percussive samples through this thing. That sounds cool. Not percussion, but I like it. Let me get rid of that noise. It's got all this air in it, this noise in it from the granular thing, which is cool. That's going to be interesting for something. Actually, you know what? I know I can do this. I can change the rate of this granular kind of thing into sync. That's kind of cool, just by itself. Very electro sounding. Let's pump this up a little bit. It's going to compress it too much. Just playing around with the decay of that filter bank, that modal filter bank. This is cool. It's like a control over the fundamental, more or less, of that low frequency in the bottom there. And then we've got warping. I guess that's going to move the frequencies around in the modal filter bank. Yep. What is going on? How are they describing that? How are they describing what that shape does? It says, changes the shape of the warp. What is the warping doing? Looks to me, if you look at the visual, it looks like it's just bending down, changing the relationship of those upper partials, of the upper frequency bands in the modal filter bank. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of curling down somehow. Sounds cool. Adding a little stereo to that. This is cool. Warp range sets the harmonic after which the warp starts affecting the sound to preserve the bass pitch. Ah, all right. I see. It's kind of... You can kind of shift up and down where the warped harmonics are. It's crazy. And then this, you can quantize the warp so it tries to keep it in tune. Like a ratio kind of thing. Whoa. This is cool. Sorry, this is the first time I'm playing with this today, deeply. So this is just me learning modal, and we'll see if this actually turns into a cool beat. What are y'all talking about? Doug Smith says the visual of the modal bank is nuts. Yeah, I love it, right? That's kind of trailing off. But what I wish is that would also show the decay. Shouldn't there be less of it? Anyway. Oh, and we can change the... What does that do? What does that button do? Partials random phase. Randomly inverts the phase of each partial, creating a more unpredictable tempo. Okay, so it's making it more organic, like realistic, like because real sounds don't sound exactly the same every time. I was hoping that was I don't know, in other engines, there's a little button to change the waveform display. I was hoping that was going to change how it looked, but it's actually has something to do with the phase of the partials. Whoa, that could be cool if we modulate that. Brilliance, right? Let's take an envelope. All right, and I'm kind of, I don't know, let's make something more interesting. Make it like a little bit of a melody so we're not just hearing this droning. Something. Okay, good enough. Right, just starting a bass line. Not very deep bass line. This is great. It's like very electro, very sort of, you know, sharp, plucky kind of bass sound, but it has this acoustic hollowness, resonance to it. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about that I think is cool, to make electro with sounds like that are a little bit different. It also, especially if I were to start pushing this harder and distorting it, would start to get a little more industrial, like a little more mechanical, that also works really well with electro, of course. A little more stereo on that. Let's play around with what this shaper does. Not much. Actually, maybe that shaper has something to do with what this granular noise input is. Not sure. Yeah, maybe because... Oh, right. Crazy. What is all that rumbliness? It's like some low... I just realized that the level's kind of low on this. Let's turn it up a little bit. There's a lot of sub in there. Whoa. What just happened with the stereo? That was crazy. Like, did this crazy pan. Aha. I said aha. I still don't know what's going on. Can't really hear what this granular thing is doing. Let's take away the transient thing. Okay, sort of in the background. Nice layer back there. I want that to be louder. I'm going to turn up my main output and then adjust the volume of the transient. This is cool. I can just play with this all day. Sometime I'm going to have to stop and move on to do something else. sounds like I have like a little shaker hi-hat thing going on in the background there. What happens if I tune the transient sample? Huh. That's also good. I can't decide where to stop. This thing is set to poly, but it doesn't. It's funny. It's over with the long release on that. It's overlapping the notes, but whoa, sorry, that was a little loud. A little long. I really like this sound. I should save it. I was thinking of making it in mono so it doesn't overlap as much. Let's layer it with something more simple and warm and fat, like more subtractive, or can go over here to Engine 2. Sorry. Oh my God. Did I just blow everybody's ears out? I forgot that I turned up the output so high. Let's fix that. Let's not have that happen again. Sorry, sorry, Ghostface. He's like, my ears. Ah. All right. All right. I'm not even sure like the volume is good enough. Like my volume is all out of whack somehow today. I got thrown off by something about the modal engine's like a little quieter, obviously. Like you heard when I turned the analog engine on, I was like, oh my God. So there's something about the modal filter maybe that it's quieter. I don't know. Or either that or I'm just using it for the first time and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's fix this. Let's give Engine 2 its own envelope. Something that I used the update in class the other day, and we're still doing subtractive synthesis, and Pigment's 5 has a little drift knob here next to the tuning, and it totally threw me off. I'm like, where'd the drift knob go? I want to put it to 0 to re-trigger my waveform at the 0 phase point, and they hid it in this little menu. I mean, great. You're making user interface upgrades, Arturia, but you still had room for the drift knob here. You could have left it there. There's I have a couple of things about this interface update that I don't like, and the way they did the menu for the filters, it's really touchy and it's like really easy to like, I don't know, it makes it hard to click on things sometimes, right? So I'm like, cluster, do you see what's happening? Like, what if I want this cluster filter? Great, there's all these new filters, thank you. But like, if you just move it the wrong way, it disappears, right? So you have to like go all the way over here and then, right? You can't go at an angle. So that's just things like that annoy me. And then like, I feel like the previous filter interface was better. Maybe they had to change it so they could add more. I don't know. Anyway, pet peeves. That's all I want. I'm going to go for a square. Real tight. Let's mix that with this, with the modal engine. I think it's pretty good. Maybe we'll filter. Let's have engine 2 go to filter 2 only. And then we'll modulate that. Classic, simple, low pass filter pluck thing. Little detune, little stereo, why not? All right, so now this is filtered too much. I like this to be brighter and with that long tail with the granular thing happening. So let's make the modal engine. This would be a nice improvement. This is something that Serum has that I wish Pigments had, is that you can just completely bypass the filters altogether. Right here, I can choose an engine to go to filter 1 or filter 2 or both. But what if I don't want it to go to the filter at all? Can we do that? Can we add a bypass, Arturia, please? Anyway, so if I want to do that, I have to make it so I have engine 1's going to filter 1 only, and then the filter routing of the filter routing changes to be parallel, right? So now, oh yeah, split. That's what I want. Well, no, actually, I don't need to split it yet. If I split it, it's going to have filter 1 go into FXA and filter 2 go into FXB. Let's just keep them mixed together for now as normal. Now I can hear little ticky, 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 tickies. They're not being filtered out by anything anymore. They added a saturator, a drive to the regular filters, which is great. It sounds really good. Nice. This is coming together just fine. And then we can decide whether we're going to modulate this stuff or how we're going to do it. Huh. What if we did a random trigger to the tuning of the transient so it kind of jumps up and down? I mean, it depends. Like, do we want it to be constantly moving or do we want it to be tight and straight all the time? You know, that's kind of a thing. A lot of electro is very tight and mechanical. But we'll go random, sample and hold to, what is that, random to tuning of the transient. All right, too much. We want it just a little bit up. Let me turn off engine 2 for a second so we can hear what that's doing. I like doing stuff like that. Just like little micro movements that just keep happening. Let's try another one. Whoa. Super futuristic even more now because it's all bleepy. I think I like it better now. It's nerdier. I kind of like it with that and without it. So how am I going to control that easily? I'm going to go here and use a sidechain. So sometimes I can control it to sometimes be bleepy and bloopy and sometimes straight. Let's take a macro. Well, no, we're going to use... here it is. We're going to go to the... I'm confused. Which one's which? Oh. It's this one, right? M01 amount. Right, that's annoying. I'm modulating the warp, but it says M01 amount. Why can't it just say warp? Anyway. Let's go to macro 1. There we go. So I set that all the way to 1. Here we go. Random warp. There we go. Sorry, I've got like two sections I can switch between those. What does it sound like if it's not quantized? Yeah, it's like changing the tuning. That's why that quantize is there, to keep as those resonant modal filter frequencies bounce around, they're staying in tune with the notes you're playing. All right, and there's a good obvious reason. Sorry, that's zooming in and out like crazy. The higher you put the range, the less shifting around. It's like shifting up the warping so it's higher. Right, so these lower frequencies are staying more stable, and it's the higher frequency ones that are shifting around. And then I can lower that if I want more. Now there's even more variation. It all sounds good to me. All right, let's put this back on. This sounds pretty good. The only effect on there is the multi-band. I was thinking some reverb on something might be good, but you know, it's a bass line / lead in a way. All right, this was a good result. Let's a good first attempt with this new modal thing in Pigments. Let's take a little break and check in with y'all and see what everybody's talking about. Let's say, all right, yeah, you guys are just. Aaron is pointing out that the music was not loud enough. Yes, I was trying to fix that. Did I fix it? Sorry about that. I was getting all caught up in learning a new synth, and I forgot to check my levels. And hello, Pierre. Thank you for saying I got a great sound so fast. And Ghostface is saying you can make a whole track with Pigments. Absolutely. I mean, that's probably what's going to, other than, well, I have the samples for the kick and the snare, but I could have also done those. Let's see what else we got. Luminous Cloud wants me to record some brain organoid vox. There's a vocoder in Pigments. Maybe we should play with that a little bit before we run out of time today. And y'all are talking about favorite synths. Bazille, that's a really good one. Ghostface. VPS Avenger, I've never played around with. What's that? Why do I not know what that is? Oh, Vengeance. Okay. I'll have to try this. What do we got in here? Spectral granular module, drum loop module. It's like another one of these synths that does everything. Cool. I'll check it out one of these days. And Aaron is saying something funny. This comes from a string sample. Actually, no, it's not a string sample. That's the thing about the modal synthesis. It's a filter bank that's emulating the harmonics of a string. Right? It's a type of physical modeling synthesis. It's kind of like Car Plus Strong, you know, where you're taking a noise and putting it through a comb filter with feedback, and it resonates with harmonics. Instead of that, it's multiple resonant filters that are ringing, and you're controlling the frequency of those filters and how that behaves. I think that's a way of describing it. So yeah, it's not a string sample. It's a physical model of a string, let's say. And then we're manipulating that into something that does not sound like a string. Cool. What else y'all talking about? Do another patch with Pigments like strings. Cool. We could do that. So yeah. I want to try the vocoder, but also I always struggle for like what to say. I guess we can just say whatever. So yeah, the vocoder is in the effects section, let's switch back over to the main view so you can see. And yeah, you just load that up here in one of the effect slots, which is pretty nuts because actually it's not just one vocoder. You could have like 6 vocoders, 9 vocoders in one batch if you wanted. That's nuts. Okay, that's overkill. We're not going to do that. But yeah, so we have this vocoder happening, and it's pretty straightforward. In some ways it's similar to Live's vocoder in that it's got a couple of modes. I haven't tried the dirty mode yet. It's got a modern, more kind of detailed, precise mode, and then a vintage emulation mode. And you have up to 40 bands, which is the same as Live's vocoder. It has an enhance thing for the carrier, which Live's vocoder has, and it has formant shifting. So it's the only thing it doesn't have, I think, is frequency tilt. But actually, Live's, that's different from Live's vocoder. But Live's vocoder lets you adjust individual bands separately, which you could do a frequency tilt manually if you wanted. And then you can just choose what your modulator is. It can be something in the synth, right? Or it could be from another effect. All right, the effects in is just going to be like whatever's coming, the entire mix coming out of the synth, or you can choose a specific part of the synth. Like, anyway, let's try it. So like right now, my carrier, right now it's the sawtooth is vocoding itself, and it's got this little zappy effect. So that's already cool. It does kind of like what is that effect? Oh man, it's like a disperser. So that already sounds awesome. There's some cancellation going on down there. There's the vintage mode. It's a little more resonant. I guess that's got to be saturated or something. All right, and the form is just shifting that band range, all those bands up and down. So that's actually cool, just to add it as a kind of a phasing, filtering effect on any sort of sound. Okay, that's not to get stuck on my bass part, but what happens if I put a vocoder on this? Does it make sense even? I don't know. Got quiet. Yeah, I don't know. Sounds kind of cool. Way more sub going on. A little muddy though. Got a gate. That's cool to have a visual on the gate there. Anyway. Just playing around. Sorry. I can't help myself. All right, let's go back to... And if I want to have my voice go in here, I need to, instead of FX in, I need audio in, and then I need to route a mic into it. So let's make an audio input. I need to turn that on, actually. Should be getting my mic in somewhere now. There it is, mic input 2. And then route audio to pigments. Hey. Oh, there we go. There it is. Now we are vocoding. And it's working pretty well. It's pretty straight up. Sounds like a vocoder, nothing crazy. Let's go back to the modern mode. So yeah, that's better. And okay, I see what it's doing. It's like it's definitely pushing up the volume. That's pretty good. What else can we do with this? We can do formant shifting. Anyway, so that's what the formant shifting does. It just takes those individual bands and sweeps them up and down. It makes a lot of sense that they, a vocoder and a modal synth are similar. It's multiple narrow bandpass filters. So it's kind of the same thing in a way, just used differently. So yeah, it totally makes sense that they would do these together. Similar algorithms, I assume. And there it is. Let's put some effects after this. Let's do a super unison. That's good. And we got some kind of freaky pitch, formant shifted Munchkin robot sound, I guess, right? Yeah, something like that. And I can play chords, so let's do something harmonic and spacey. So we can have like a talking pad. Someone said do like a pad or a polyphonic sound. We could do that with vocal modulation and have it be. That's a little too rough somehow with the dirty mode. I want the modern mode, and that's nicer. Yeah, a little more ethereal. Let's smooth this out a little bit and then do some reverb and put it in an outer space. So atypical vocoder usage. Instead of a robot voice for Electro, we can have something pretty and spacey and atmospheric. That could be fun, no? I think so. Yeah. So what key am I in? We are in E. There we go. I want this to sound brighter. How do I make a vocoder sound brighter? I have to give it more high frequencies. I could play a bigger chord. So, yeah, it's kind of something about... Oh, here we go. I had the bandwidth too. I forgot I lowered the bandwidth. There's the bandwidth. Now it's fuller. And can have a longer decay. Syllabants is going to give me the S's. That's better. Oh, what should I say on top of my robot weird beat? Give me some words. Aaron Hedges is like Laurie Anderson vibes. Oh, Superman. Ha, 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 ha. That could totally work. Maybe I'll just record myself going ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. That'll work. It's gonna get some of the speaker in the background, but whatever, we're just fooling around. All right, what did I do wrong? Oh, it's because of the monitor. Okay. Sounds better higher. I'm cool with that. Okay, that's a groove. We went in a different direction than I was originally thinking. Getting kind of atmospheric and light, and we're traveling through space at high speeds, and we're laughing. I want to do a. I didn't get the length of that phrase correct, but I feel like I want a delay in here. Let's do. Let's make a send. Let's put a tape echo. What's happening? That's good. All right, so I think what's happening is I'm mixing it's coming straight out of the engine, right? Whereas I actually want to come out of after the effects, right? So I need to figure out, can I do that? Post effects, there we go. There you go. And that's all just one sawtooth wave. I didn't do anything else. A little modulation in there. I could use a more complex waveform. I don't know. Yeah, something subtle like that. A little pulse width mod wavetable happening. We'll put an LFO on the wavetable position and make it so it's not re-triggering. It's continuous, free running. There we go. Should I squeeze in one more sound? Why not? Aaron wants me to run it through fragments. That's a good idea. Oh, also, let me figure out this. Right, it needs to be 16 bars, not 15 bars. That'll help. All right, yeah, I could put crazy granular effects on this. I feel like that's the next move. Like, Pigments needs to add fragments inside of Pigments. I could also go in and add, if I could granularize. Actually, let's not make another sound. I'm going to run out of time. Let's just add a little more flavor to this. The granularizing thing maybe could happen because in here I could turn this into granular and add some kind of textural thing. I don't know. Right, whatever that is. And I'm going to set the sync rate to 16th notes. So, right, this is going to basically chop up this granular thing. What does that sound like? I'm not even sure I can hear that. You can hear that noise in the background, right? All right, and they finally added a scan, right? It used to be in Pigments. This is another good new thing that I'm just noticing now, that in order to move through the sample in the granular engine, you had to assign an envelope to it or a function to it. Now they've just built the scan in there, which is great. All right, I can barely hear that. There it is. Right, so there's the noise that we want. And how do we make that like not crazy? It's too crazy. Yeah, I think this sounds a little bit too crazy and random. Anyway, I was just trying to maybe add some kind of clicky, rhythmic thing to this otherwise pretty vocodery thing. But not exactly getting what I was imagining. So yeah, another note for Arturia. Let's put some granular chopping in the effects section. I'd love that. All right. I am satisfied with this. This is great. Nice one. Let's bring it in and wrap things up for today. It's been nice hanging out with you. Again, Luminous Cloud, we're all rooting for you, sending love and strength to you and your family. Our condolences on behalf of everyone. And thanks to all of you for hanging out with me today as I stumble through learning about the new stuff that Pigments 6 can do. I think it sounds really good. Happy to play with the modal mode. I'm already partial, and that is sort of a really nerdy pun to modal synthesis in general. So it's really great to have that added to Pigments. Thank you, Arturia. And the vocoders, I didn't really go deep into the vocoder, but that's a very useful thing to have. And just the fact that you can literally have you could load up literally 9 vocoders in this thing and go absolutely bonkers. Why would you do that? I don't know. But that is a lot of, Pigments is powerful. It's ridiculous how much they've packed into this one relatively easy to use, stable, great sounding synth. So yeah, thanks to Arturia. And I have to say that in full disclosure, 343 Labs has kind of a hookup with Arturia. They provide us licenses to give to our students when they take the synthesis and sound design class. So all the students have the same plugins and we can all kind of learn together. So thanks to Arturia for that. No money is exchanged though. FTC. This is all legal. I'm not getting any kickbacks other than maybe like some free software every now and then. Okay. Enough about that. All right. That's it for today. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you next week. We'll get back to some techno. Hello to anybody that I didn't already say hello to. Have a good week. Adios.